One of the all-time greats, a Hall of Fame coach, 27th year, 4-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, trying to get to 8-4. And of course, Matt Rule in his 3rd year. Ja'Cory Barney starts the game with a return out to the 20-yard line. And here we go, Nebraska and Iowa. TJ Lateef, it's his first start in this stadium.
And you talk with the Nebraska coaches, they say he's really exceeded expectations with what he's done so far these first couple starts. When you watch him play, 2 road games, he doesn't look like a true freshman at all. Poised, calm, cool, and collected.
He came in late in relief of Raiola in that USC game, USC winning it narrowly. No surprise, Emmett Johnson. And Johnson, 5 yards. And the lineups, first for the Cornhuskers. Emmett Johnson has caught 44 balls this year.
And I think we're going to see a lot of that today. Matt Rule said we have to kill them with relentless completions. A lot of those will be to 21.
That's not a completion. It was deflected. Iowa's defense is one of the best in the Big Ten. And Carson Shire eats running backs for lunch.
He was awesome last Saturday against Michigan State. 10 tackles, 3 tackles for loss. Look for him to run through a lot during this game. What does that mean? That means he's going to attack the line of scrimmage downhill. He tries to get in the backfield before the double team can get to him.
3rd down 5. Lateef going to run it, and he's not going to get the first down. Jonah Pace there to stop him. Gain of 2, and the first punt of the day for Nebraska.
Usually after a 3rd down, we talk about the 3rd down play, but not when you're talking about the Iowa Hawkeyes and Caden Weegan. Fantastic returner for Iowa. He's the best in the country. 4 returns. Look how Nebraska is lining up here with all these guys on the perimeter. Remember, in college football, you can release right away.
They have an Aussie punter who punts with either leg. Weegan in traffic, going to let it bounce. And that feels like a win for Nebraska. Weegan didn't get a chance to return it. It's Archie Wilson, the Aussie. He can go right, he can go left. And now the first touchdown for Iowa. Mark Gronowski, of course, 2 national championships and a Walter Payton Award at South Dakota State. And a good year here with Iowa.
No college quarterback has ever won more games. I enjoyed following his career as an FCS guy at South Dakota State. He's done a nice job here with Iowa. I said earlier, the passing game hasn't really been great, but 13 rushing touchdowns, a lot of them exactly when the Hawkeyes needed it.
They're a run-heavy team. Kamari Moulton with the carry, and Nebraska is there. Keona Davis with the stop. This is one of the best offensive lines in the country, and Logan Jones is their leader.
The center Outland Trophy finalist is only 3 of them, making his 50th start. He grew up in Council Bluffs, Iowa, actually wanted to be a Cornhusker, but they didn't offer him until after he committed to Iowa.
Moulton again right side, a little more push this time, but not a lot of yards to the 42. Nebraska's defense very good against the pass, not so much against the run.
You would expect Deshaun Singleton to be involved in a lot of tackles during this game for Nebraska to have success. Against Penn State Saturday night, he had 10 tackles, 2 for loss, and a sack. He was everywhere. This is his senior day, senior game. He told us a win in this game would mean everything.
3rd down and 6. Weegan is split, bottom of your screen. Blitz comes. Gronowski fires on target, caught there. Sam Phillips dropped it, couldn't hold it. It's incomplete. Donovan Jones, a redshirt freshman, on the coverage.
Well, he was wide open. He just ran the out route, and Gronowski put it right on him. That has to be a completion. What a job by Donnie Jones. Watch down here, right hand uppercut right here. Boom, uppercut, and punches the ball out. That is beautiful by the redshirt freshman for Nebraska. That's why you never give up or concede the completion. Love him finishing that play till the end.
Winds swirl in this stadium. Right now it's pretty calm, and a really towering punt. And that's Ja'Cory Barney with a fair catch. Backed up at the 10-yard line. Nebraska and Iowa on a chilly morning here in Lincoln. TJ Lateef trying to stay warm right now. Second possession for Nebraska. Last two meetings are almost identical. Ross Tucker.
It is crazy. In both those games, Nebraska had the ball with less than a minute left in a tie game and somehow lost both of them in regulation. I still can't believe they lost last year. They had 20 first downs. Iowa had 5 first downs. As you see, the heroes the last 2 years, Llewellyn and Herkett, have made the game-changing turnovers in the final minute.
Johnson out to the 15. It's going to get about 6 yards. Second down and 4.
Nice start so far. This is just a duo play, double teams at the point of attack. Lindenmoyer, the tight end, got a little bit lost there, but that's 2 runs for Johnson now where they've gotten pretty nice yardage on first down. You get 5 or 6 yards a pop on first down, especially against this Iowa defense. That's doing something.
They will ride this guy all day long. And Johnson, second effort, out close to the 30. Intringer brought him down. That's a 13-yard carry.
Even Phil Parker, the Iowa defensive coordinator, talked about how improved Johnson is. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It takes 6 or 7 Hawkeyes to take him down. That's actually been one of the issues for Iowa at times this year against good teams. They have not tackled that well.
Again, Johnson outside, and he's busted one. He's 40. He's 20. He's 10. He is touchdown. The official has a touchdown. They'll probably review it. 71 yards.
What an effort. Ooh, that is so close. The first thing that's down is the right elbow.
The ruling on the field. Touchdown. That play is for the review.
An absolutely incredible effort. Where's the ball when the right elbow comes down? I mean, if he's not in, it's by a centimeter or 2.
The forearm is down, the hand is not down.
He is not down until right there. Man, it might have been a centimeter short, Rich, but can we just give it to him? I mean, look at that effort right there. The side judge who called it was right there, so it's going to have to be indisputable visual evidence to overturn it. And if they overturn it, what are they going to do? Put it on the 1-inch line?
After review, the runner's right elbow was down and the football was at the 6-inch line. It'll be first down and goal at the 6-inch line.
I didn't realize there was a 6-inch line.
Well, we're going to have to agree to disagree because it looked like the 2-inch line to me. I think he probably was short, but man, that is a heck of an effort from Emmett Johnson. Most important thing here is no false starts by the offensive line.
Johnson, give it to him. Hit. Not sure he got in. Second push. And let's see. Nebraska thinks they've scored. And they have. Emmett Johnson, the junior from Minneapolis.
Well, they stopped him initially. Carson Shire stopped him. He was short there, but he wasn't down. So watch the Nebraska offensive linemen come and start to push him like they're the Eagles doing the tush push. And the belief is that second effort was enough for Johnson. And I don't know how you can tell with that mass of humanity right there. They're going to take another look at this one. Good luck finding a clear angle.
We have a couple other looks.
It's a nice job by Shire, 43, to hit him short. He's not in there. Now watch.
He's laying on a player.
See, they push him in. And if they didn't blow it dead and say that his forward progress is stopped, I think the ball did break the plane with that push from the offensive lineman after the initial surge.
Let's listen. You're right, no whistle until the end.
After review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown is upheld.
"90 yards on 4 plays with 2 reviews."
We told you they were going to give him the ball a lot, and they are.
And every one of those yards was all Emmett Johnson.
It started with the long run on the jet sweep that he almost took all the way and just barely got tripped up. But they were able to finish it off on the very next play, 7-0 Cornhuskers. Corcoran, he chops down Llewellyn. Incredible blocking by all 3 Nebraska receivers, and Emmett Johnson was out the gate. That was one of the first things that Iowa defensive coordinator Phil Parker told us, is that the Nebraska receivers are really good blockers, and they showed it on that long run. All 3 of them got good blocks.
Emmett Johnson already at 90 yards. Matt Rule and Nebraska trying to reverse the course of the last 10 years. They've dropped 9 of the last 10 to Iowa. And as we showed, the last 2 in just excruciating fashion. Now, this is second opportunity for Weegan to touch the football. He's deep for this kickoff. And Weegan's going to get it right at the 6. Looking for a seam. He's got one. Weegan to the 40. Weegan to the 50. Still on his feet. To the 45. Flags are down. He may have been hit late. He is a magical, magical player. He has been the best play Iowa has had this year.
Personal foul. Face mask. Kicking team number 90. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down and 10.
That's the kicker, John Hole, with the face mask.
He definitely, right here, right hand, definitely tugs it down. So look at where Iowa's going to get the field position now. This is just incredible what Caden Weegan has done this season.
Dayton Howard in motion. Granowski. Moulton on the ground. And he's stopped there by Cade Petchak. Let's check in with Tiffany Blackman.
Rich, what a return by Weegan. And we talked to offensive coordinator Tim Lester. He told us, I still can't believe people kick to him. When they do, they're just in shock because he always does something amazing like he just did on this run, putting them in great field position, guys.
Well, sometimes, Tiff, you know, there's a little bit of wind. Kicking it through the end zone in this stadium isn't that easy.
Especially kicking left to right here. Gronowski's changing the play.
Moulton inside the 25 to the 23. I mean, look, Weegan was a junior college player. Then he was and Dwight was always his idol. And here he is at Iowa breaking his records.
And now everybody's debating whether or not he's better than Tim Dwight.
3rd and 4.
Watch for Gronowski's legs, any situation like this.
With time, scrambling, throwing, and it's incomplete. DJ Vonami, the intended receiver.
Let's see if we see any separation from any of the Iowa receivers. Not really. No, I mean, that's been a problem. You look at each guy, they are covered. That's one of Iowa's issues. They got the quarterback this year. I'm not sure they have the receivers they need yet to really get to the next level.
Kirk Ferentz has a great kicker in Drew Stevens. This is 41 yards. On the way, and good. Iowa has points. Nebraska with a long run. Iowa with a great return by Weegan. And they get on the board. 7-3 here in Lincoln. And on comes Stevens to finish it off.
And it's so impressive because you know he's going to get the ball. 43.3% of Nebraska's touches this year, 38% of their yards. That's more than anybody else in college football. Everything they do on offense revolves and runs through him. And he told us, you know, the thought has certainly crossed his mind that this might be his last game here at Nebraska as well. He has not made any official declaration, but certainly with the season he's had, the NFL should get serious consideration.
You know, Dana Holgorsen is a great offensive coordinator. At the start of the season, he said, I was going to do running back by committee, spread it around. And then after he saw Johnson for a few times, it's like, no, this guy's getting the ball 25 times a game. Barney from his end zone. Good special teams work by Iowa. Preston Reese made the stop, 13 yards on the return. Johnson has 4 consecutive 100-yard games, and he's just 5 yards shy of his 5th straight.
Nebraska has an extra offensive lineman out there, number 75. That's Tyler Canuck. They call this Big 12 personnel, not the conference. 12 personnel with one of them being a big guy.
We'll play action. Latif in trouble. Fires it. There's nobody there. Jaden Harrell put the pressure on.
Well, Harrell read this perfectly. They run the boot. Watch Harrell, okay? He's not fooled. They run the boot away. These guys are so well coached for Iowa. It's unbelievable. Bootleg away, and he's right there ready for it.
Johnson again. And Iowa's ready for him this time. Gain of maybe 2. Brian Allen made the stop.
It was not, by the way, intentional grounding the play before because Emmett Johnson was in the vicinity. The officials announced that, but it does bring up 3rd and long. Phil Parker brought more blitzes against Michigan State last week than he normally does. We'll see whether or not Iowa comes with pressure or just rushes 4 and plays zone behind it.
Phil Parker is like the godfather of defensive coordinators. in the Big Ten. Latif, crossing pattern in traffic. It's caught. Is it enough? I think it's short. Dane Key made the catch. And this is going to be Nebraska punting to Weejan again. 51 yards on that kickoff return by Weejan. He did not get to return the first punt return. Look at this number. His average return yard is 28 a return.
Nebraska is punting into the wind here. You do not want to get the ball too high in the air.
End over end. And again, it's not a long punt, but it feels like a win for Nebraska.
But those are hidden yards. I think Nebraska's doing the right thing, but that's an extra 10 to 15. They're three of, I would say, the top 5 teams in the country. And yet, as you see the field position here, Iowa had to play both Oregon and Indiana, played them both at home and came a play away from probably winning each of those games. Nebraska hasn't had to play any of the top 3 Big Ten teams.
Kamari Moulton in the backfield. Gronowski play action. Sets. Rolling. Little dump off. Bonami with the catch. And he's inside the 40. That's a gain of about 13.
Bonami's left side comes back across, and he's blocking for a while. But then when nobody's there, he leaks out. Bonami's really more of a receiving tight end, but they've been impressed with his progress as a blocker. They weren't sure he'd ever become a good enough blocker.
He was a walk-on and was a quarterback. Moulton right side. Boy, that hole closed quickly.
They like to run behind the big right tackle in Jennings Dunker. 6'5", 325. Looking at him on the field before the game, he looked like one of the dudes in Game of Thrones. He looks like he should be throwing kegs or something in Scotland.
He's all Big Ten.
In the strongest man competition.
All Big Ten and all big hair. Second down 7. Nebraska brings heat. Gronowski, back foot throw, man wide open. Bonami with the catch. Touchdown, Iowa. 35 yards.
Look at Bonami. He's in the slot right there. Working against the linebacker. They bring the blitz, so he stops and oh, that is beautiful. That is amazing. They brought the blitz from that side, so the redshirt freshman Guthrie was responsible for Bonami, but Iowa knew it. They hit him with the pump and go, and that is just perfection from a play calling standpoint by Tim Lester.
Tim Lester told us Bonami's a tight end, but he runs wide receiver routes. That was a wide receiver route.
Nebraska had the Emmett Johnson drive. Iowa had the DJ Bonami drive.
It's free. Look good right now. Iowa throwing the ball, Nebraska running the ball.
This is incredible. I mean, the timing to know when it's a blitz that the safety would be in man coverage. That is so tough for Rex Guthrie. I don't blame him at all. You're bringing the linebacker blitz, so Guthrie's man-to-man on Bonami. He runs a quick hook route, curl like that. Guthrie's trying to go make the tackle or make a play on the football, and it was a stop and go. And sometimes, Rich, they just get you. And on that one, Iowa just got Nebraska from a schematic standpoint. That was more about the play than the players.
Stevens kick. Barney Fair catches out to the 25. Don't miss the new hit drama that critics are calling your new CBS obsession. Sheriff Country returns all new Friday, December 5th on CBS. appropriately dressed. Tiffany Blackman reports some snow flurries and flakes starting to fall here in Lincoln.
Well, I don't want to jinx it, Rich, but it seems like we might get more points than we have the last couple years in this matchup.
Latif, moving pocket, fires to the sideline, and it's just off the hands of a diving Dane Key. 2nd and 10.
Man, he was pretty well covered. I think this is a nice ball by Latif. Look at Key number 6. He's going to run the out-breaking route. That's good coverage. Oh, he put it right on his hands. Man, I mean, that's not an easy catch for Key. Those guys usually tell you if it touches their hands, they should catch it. But the big takeaway for me there, if I'm a Nebraska fan, is that is a perfect football from TJ Latif.
He's completing 70% of his passes coming in. Johnson starts right, then left, and then down. Xavier Wampa, appropriately named.
Sets up 3rd and long again for Nebraska. They're getting right on the football here. They're going to call something quick, not allow Iowa to substitute defensively.
Let's see if the Hawkeyes bring heat. They bring 4. Latif, lots of time. Sideline throw. Lindenmeyer with the catch. Lindenmeyer has the first down. Zach Lutmer made the stop, 13 yards.
He probably would have gotten the first down anyway, but look at the late block here by Dane Key. This is beautiful. Watch at the very end, number 6, right there. See how he just put his hip into him and his hands are up? If he came in and really collided with Godfrey, that would be an illegal blindside block. That's how they teach it right there, almost like a basketball pick.
A lot of finesse in that block. Look, Johnson again! Emmett Johnson! Knocked out of bounds at the 37. My goodness. Over 100 yards already. 25 yards on the carry.
If you are responsible for contain, you got to be responsible for contain. This is the key matchup right here. Watch Pritchett. He can't do that. He tried to rip in at the end because he thought Johnson was going up inside the gap inside of him, which is the B gap between the guard and the tackle. Cannot do that until you know he goes in there.
Mekhi Nelson comes in for his first carry. Johnson was out for that snap. Last 5 games now, and the yards just keep adding up.
123 rushing yards already against the Iowa Hawkeyes, who, interestingly, I love watching Iowa's front 7, Rich. They're so well coached with how they take on blocks and shed, but there have been moments this year, like against Oregon, where they kind of got handled at times up front.
Johnson's back in. 2nd and 7, play action. Latif running for his life again, and he flips it out of bounds. And it'll be 3rd down and 7.
Latif a little bit slow to get up there. They're not buying these bootlegs. That time it was Montgomery who was all over it. These linebackers are looking for Latif to try to break contain, and their secondary contain, they call it, when the linebacker comes from the 2nd level. Latif made a winning play there, really just to throw it away, give them a chance. They're going into the wind. You don't know whether or not they would attempt a field goal from here. Wouldn't be shocked if they run it to try to give themselves a chance on 4th down or a shorter field goal.
Yeah, into the wind. Target line was 32-yard line. Emmett Johnson with a catch, breaks another tackle, spins down to the 21. That's a first down. Not many running backs have 45 catches this year.
And watch the block he gets downfield. Right there, the center. 51, Justin Evans got the key block on the guy in man-to-man coverage with Johnson.
Little tempo here from Nebraska. That went down to the 18, and we go down to Tiffany Blackman. Tiff?
Well, guys, I asked Emmett how much he loves being a part of the pass game. He said, I love it a lot. I see myself as a weapon out there, keeping defenses off balance because he's able to run the football and be a threat in the passing game. And Rich, you asked him, what did he work on this offseason? He said he spent each day catching 200 passes to make sure he doesn't have drops this season.
That's a lot. I mean, it's jugs guns, it's quarterbacks. Whoever would throw it, whatever would throw it, he caught it this summer. Again rolling to the right. Latif again pursued. Flips it. End zone roll! Broken up. Terrific play by Lutmer to get his hand on the ball. That was on target, and Lutmer saves the day.
Man, when you watch Iowa's defense, Zach Lutmer sticks out like a sore thumb in a positive way. He is an awesome football player. Just gets the left hand on it. He can play corner. He can play the cash position, which is the nickel position. And when coaches compare someone to Cooper DeJean, I'm listening. Cooper DeJean, what he's done through his first year and a half with the Eagles is incredible. Lutmer, another small-town Northwest Iowa guy, just like DeJean.
Blitz comes, 3rd and 7. Latif's throw on target, but short of the first down. Barney makes the catch, and he's out of bounds. They mark it at the 13. And Nebraska's going to bring their field goal unit on.
And Latif is jogging off a little gingerly there. I think this is the right decision by Matt Rule. It's a full 2 yards. He did a nice job getting the ball down here. This is where you want to go ahead and at least make sure you tie it up.
Kyle Cunanan, 31 yards. Cunanan, 13 of 16. Has a good leg. 52 yards is his long one. That one he knocks through. And this game is all tied late in the first. Snow starting in Lincoln. Iowa 10, Nebraska 10.
Put up limping after this tackle by Montgomery. And on the sideline, you can see him stretching his left leg. Looks like he's headed for the red medical tent.
So it's 10-10. We've seen Nebraska successfully punt away from Weegan. The one kickoff return he had was 51 yards. And a little pop-up, Weegan rushing up to try to get it. And he doesn't get it. That's a live ball. Did Nebraska get it? Nebraska has it. Wow. Mike Eckler, the special teams coordinator, they brought him here from Tennessee. He's one of the best in the business, and that's a huge play for the Cornhuskers.
Well, that's one way to not let Weegan be a factor. That thing died in the wind and then took a Nebraska bounce away from Weegan so that the Cornhuskers could fall right on it. That could not have worked out any better for Nebraska. They are in business.
Derek Wacker on special teams with the recovery. Latif out of the tent and right back to work on play action. Inside throw. Isaiah Hunter to about the 20. This is a huge game for Mike Eckler, the special teams coordinator.
Eckler is from here. He's from Omaha. And Matt Rule told us this week he hired Mike Eckler for this game because of what Iowa had done to Nebraska on special teams the last couple years. Nebraska could not allow that to happen again, and Kirk Ferentz told us that's the place where Nebraska's improved the most is their special teams.
Johnson again, another hole and another nice game. First down to the 14th. Nebraska on the move after that recovery on the kickoff, and Johnson has to pick up a loose ball and make something out of it. Brian Allen gets him after a gain of 2. So 13-10, the last 2 meetings, and you talked about, Ross, the identical script to get to 13-10.
Well, it doesn't look like today's going to be 13-10. Let's hope it's not. I'm used to more punts in this matchup. So far, it's been points.
2nd and 8. Johnson straight ahead, and he runs into a white wall there. Jalen Watson in on the hit, along with Brian Allen. I mean, the roles are kind of reversed here. I mean, Nebraska not great at the run game. They throw the ball well. Their run game is going. Iowa doesn't throw it that well. That's how they got their touchdown. 3rd and 7. Latif, end zone, broken up. Jalen Watson on the coverage, and the field goal unit on for Nebraska.
Well, they like that matchup with their big receiver, Quinn Clark, the redshirt freshman from Montana. He mistimed the jump. I think Clark jumped too early. And Watson, the sophomore from Detroit, one of the guys I think Nebraska liked their matchup against. He came up for the challenge there and made a really nice play on the football.
Cunanan from 29. Knocks it through. There's your 13-10, but we're just starting the 2nd quarter. Weegan, it never got to him, and special teams by Nebraska leads to 3. Winning this game for Nebraska is so big. It gets over that hump. It validates year 3 for Rule. And the psyche of the fan base and the team to beat Iowa would be enormous.
Well, 8 wins would be the most since they went 9-4 in 2016. Of course, they can still get the 8th win in the bowl game, but I can assure you Nebraska fans would much rather get that 8th win today.
And this one's over the head of Weegan, so he doesn't get to return this one either. Hit every highlight with CBS Sports HQ, streaming free 24/7. You can download the CBS Sports app to watch today. You can see Tiffany Blackman, Amanda Guerra, all of our good friends, Chris Hassel.
Well, and now Iowa has the wind at their back.
This might be the windiest piece of real estate.
Excuse me. Now Iowa's going into the wind.
And this might be the windiest piece of real estate in this state. This stadium, molten to the 27. Both coaches talked about how it swirls and it's often so unpredictable here.
Well, I was talking with Mike Eckler, the Nebraska special teams coordinator, before the game, and he said because all 4 corners are open, you know, it's the windiest place in the state, and you can see when Nebraska was kicking it from left to right, they couldn't get it near the end zone, and then on that last kick here in the 2nd quarter with the wind at their back, they were able to kick a touchback.
Second and 8, Gronowski on play action. Fires over the middle. On the mark, Vanderzee with the catch. And Reese Vanderzee, who had a huge catch in that last drive against Michigan State, hauls it in.
It's just man-to-man. Vanderzee against Sierra Wright, who's had a nice year, the USC transfer. It's a really nice in-breaking route by Vanderzee. And ironically, Rich, you know, I've asked so many quarterbacks over the years, a lot of times they would rather throw into the wind because you kind of know what you're going to get. You have to drive the ball, whereas when you throw with the wind, the ball can sail on you.
Nebraska's 47. Gronowski, little flip, difficult catch, and Phillips is going to get to the 46. Kirk Ferentz said,
and candidly, I think he thought he would have a really nice year and then go to the NFL. When that didn't happen, he explored his options and chose Iowa.
2nd down 9. This is Patterson with the carry to the 44. This will bring up a 3rd down and about 6. Dylan Rogers, who plays the jack position, made the stop for Nebraska.
Gronowski was pretty clear that he's been disappointed with the passing game. Obviously, he had higher expectations and aspirations. We have not seen him use his legs yet in this game, but when he absolutely has to, that's when he does it. Could be that situation here on 3rd and 6 around midfield.
He averages 40 yards a game on the ground and has 13 rushing touchdowns. And this is 3rd and 6. Blitz comes late, and there go the legs. Good call there, Ross. And Gronowski is weaving his way to the 20, to the 15, and is out of bounds. Excellent scouting report.
And watch Bo Stevens, the guard. He'll end up getting the key block. They all set. It's pass. It's pass. Nope. No, it's not. Watch Bo Stevens right there on Singleton. Pancake. Knocks him right on his keister, and Gronowski is off. He is not a speed demon at 235 pounds. He's more of a power runner. But I told you, in gotta-have-it situations, they run it with number 11 a lot.
Inside the 15. Quick pitch there. That's Nathan McNeil. And McNeil getting outside down to the 7 and down to Tiffany Blackman.
Hey guys, after that Gronowski run, it reminded me of our conversation with him, and he said a lot of his runs have really come off of read options where he's reading the defensive ends, and when Kamari's been running really, really well, so they start keying in on him, which then leaves him open for some big yards off the edge, and he said being mobile gives him a ton of options in the game to instill himself, and we saw that on that run before.
Good stuff, Tiff. Make no mistake, though, this guy can really sling it. He threw for almost 12,000 yards in his first stop, South Dakota State.
And anytime it's an empty set, you got to think quarterback draw. Nebraska better be ready.
Gronowski trying to pick his hole, and he runs into Petchak. He's down to the 5. He's just short of a first down.
See, Nebraska defended that very well. But Gronowski's powerful enough that he's able to get a couple yards and run through and over defenders. Sets up 3rd and less than a yard for the Hawkeyes.
Jazzy and Patterson, the running back.
Could easily be a quarterback sneak here.
Sure looks like it. And he's a big quarterback, 6'2", 235. Hayden Large making an appearance in there with a push at the end.
Kind of like the Eagles tush push with Large giving him that shot. That's a heck of a push by Large, who didn't play last week against Michigan State.
And it was definitely on the tush.
Wow. We need a name for Iowa doing that. The Hawkeye heave? Heave sounds like you're throwing the ball, though.
First and goal from the 3. Moulton is back in. Gronowski looking, quick throw, and it looked like he was looking for Vanderzee's back shoulder, but Vanderzee was bringing the pattern back inside. 2nd and goal.
Man, I'm impressed by this young corner for Nebraska, Donovan Jones. Look at that, gets hands on him. Really physical. Obviously, Vanderzee and Gronowski not on the same page. Remember, Gronowski missed all of spring football. He got hurt in the second to last game for South Dakota State, so that's one where they're not on the same page. If you run the quarterback here, you get an extra blocker.
2nd and goal. Moulton, right side, surging in, touchdown, Iowa. He carried Rex Guthrie with him into the end zone.
It's the push from the left side that did it. Just watch these guys on the left side. They're going to knock Van Poppel and Nebraska back. That's just enough. That movement allows Moulton to get on the safety, Guthrie, and that's tough duty for a redshirt freshman like Guthrie to just stone Moulton, who runs behind his pads.
Extra point good. 10 plays, 75 yards, almost 6 minutes of clock. Now that's Iowa football.
Well, it is this year with the quarterback running it often, and even when he doesn't, Nebraska had not one but two defenders ready for Gronowski. Touchdown, Hawks.
Oh, come on. Let us enjoy this game without any Lane Kiffin talk. But you're right about that for sure. There's your playoff bracket.
The leader were tied in the fourth quarter. You talk to some people, they'll tell you Iowa's 4 or 5 plays away from being undefeated. And certainly, I think you can make an argument this is one of the best teams Iowa's had over the last 10 years, even though they've lost 4 ball games.
Yes, 3 on the road at Iowa State, 5 points to Indiana, 2 points to Oregon, 5 points at USC. Snow starting to fall with a little more fervor here. Barney up to his 12. Nice move there. And gets out to the 27. Let's check in with Tiffany Blackman. Tiff?
Hey guys, a bit earlier we saw Nebraska quarterback TJ Lateef go into the medical tent twice. And guys, during that last Iowa drive, he spent the entire time on the bike. Seems like he was warming up. He did emerge from that tent and off that bike with some sort of left wrap, kind of a brace on that left knee. That is his plant foot when he's throwing, guys. We'll see how it impacts him in this game.
Well, that is critical because I really felt like Lateef's mobility and ability to run could be a big factor in this one. He might be limited now.
Emmett Johnson has been a large factor in this game, and he carries it out to the 31-yard line. And Emmett Johnson's name is written all over this possession chart. 139 yards rushing for Johnson on 13 carries.
Even that play right there, when it feels like Iowa defends it really well, he's still getting 4 or 5 yards to put Nebraska in a pretty favorable second down situation.
Second down, Lateef hit as he throws to the sideline. Flags are down. Xavier Wampa and Ja'Cory Barney dueling on the sideline.
Prior to the pass being thrown, holding defense number 7. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, includes an automatic, down.
You can see at the top here, Key's going to run, and right when he goes in breaking Godfrey, boy, I have no idea what Godfrey's doing there. I mean, that's a clear penalty. I'm not sure what he's thinking at all. Yeah, Wampa can't believe it's a penalty. It's not on you, Xavier. It's definitely on Rashad Godfrey.
41-yard line.
Ooh!
Nice move, boy. Emmett Johnson, a little wiggle there, and that's all it took. Shire made the stop.
Man, I have not played the video game in a while. Is this the B button? You see the block up at the top, but that was an incredible move by Emmett Johnson.
Second down and 3. Johnson again. Look at this guy. Emmett Johnson for a first down. Rashard Godfrey made the stop.
Once again, it's the blocking on the perimeter by Nebraska which stands out. That time it was Dane Key again getting a key block, and right now Nebraska is playing without one of their best safeties, Cohen Intringer.
153 yards already for Johnson. Isaiah Mosey in the game, and he bounces off the pile down to the 42-yard line. The forecast for today changed like every 2 hours for the last 3 or 4 days. First it was gonna snow, then it was gonna sleet, then it was not gonna snow. And it's snowing, and no one better to talk about that than Tiffany Blackman, who's down in it.
Yeah, I thought the heated gloves, heated vest, and heated pants would work in my favor today. Not so much, but I can tell you guys that the snow, it's blowing sideways, and that's due to that wind. So it might be a little bit wet out there, too, for these guys.
Tiff's going to spend all of halftime at a charging station to keep all of that stuff charged. Mosey now on second down. And Mosey close to the first down, short by a yard. Harrell made the stop.
It's half a yard, and they should run a quarterback sneak here. Rich, we've done enough games together. You know it's by far my favorite short yardage and goal line play.
Yes.
By the way, I've been told by Iowa fans on social media at Ross Tucker NFL, it's the Gronowski-Plowski, which I love. Nebraska out of the gun here. Not a big fan of that.
Third down and short. Big fan of this, though, I would guess, and that's Johnson, who makes a couple of moves. Ethan Herkett made the stop, and this guy just keeps rolling.
Really well blocked again. Lindenmeyer, the tight end, did a terrific job on the edge. I am so impressed. Nebraska needs to keep bouncing these runs because right now their tackles, tight ends, and receivers are winning on the perimeter. Look at that number at the bottom. You don't see that against Iowa very often.
Once again into the fray. To the 18, Aaron Graves made the stop. What do you make of this? I mean, Nebraska's had trouble running the ball, you know, consistently until this guy showed up with the 100-yard games. They're dominating on the run right now. Iowa's doing most of their damage through the air.
Well, listen, Nebraska has gotten better on the offensive line. They're not quite where Matt Rule wants them to be in the sense that they're not dominant up front on either side of the ball yet, but you bring in guys like Pritchett at left tackle, Spindler at right guard, that helps.
Play action, Latif's going to throw it for the corner, and it's incomplete. Lutmer again in the corner. Terrific defense.
Trying to get the ball to their best receiver. There's a lot of contact, and Nebraska faithful don't like it. Iowa is in a zone coverage. Here comes Lutmer. Well, I don't know. That's one where if you're Key, if he would have fought through Lutmer's body a little bit more, I think he might have gotten the call. I'm okay with the no call there as long as they're consistent the rest of the game.
So it's third down and 4. Blitz comes. Johnson this time is going to be stuffed.
Ooh, and he's slow to get up.
Bryce Hawthorne, one of the first to get to him.
And now it's decision time again for Matt Rule. 4th and 3. He's at least keeping the offense out there for right now. Sometimes on a play like this, they'll at least do a hard count to see if they can get the free 5 yards. Right now, Iowa's telling their defense to be careful. Nebraska's taking way too much time here. Going to end up using the timeout here that they didn't need to. Or they take the delay potentially. So in my mind, Rich, if you're going to use a timeout there, and I know Rule's trying to take as much time off the clock as he can, but there's still plenty of time left in this first half. You know, you wonder whether or not that's worth using a timeout as opposed to delay a game. I think certainly at the NFL level, people are starting to look at it differently and think, you know what, I'd rather have a timeout, give up the 5 yards, and still feel good about the field goal attempt.
It's worth noting Iowa gets the ball to start the second half. That often figures in coaches' math in terms of trying to win the middle 8, right? The last 4 of the first half, the first 4 of the second half.
It does appear as if they're going to kick the field goal here. You know, that's one where I'd be curious to see what the analytics say. My guess is the analytics would say this would be a situation to go for it. But Matt Rule wants to at least be able to take the lead with another field goal.
15 of 18 this year is Cunanan. This one up and in. 1-point game. 3 minutes left. Snowy first half in Lincoln in the Big Ten. Yeah, it's a good secret across this sport. This is a rivalry. Iowa and Nebraska. Weegin's really had one return so far. It was a 51-yarder.
You better bang it out of the end zone. Even if it's a yard or two deep, he should catch it and return it.
They kick away from him, and it goes into the end zone. Time now for Working on a Win, presented by the Home Depot.
Let's take a look at the Gronowski effect when he runs. Remember that last drive? Watch Deshaun Singleton. He's so worried about Gronowski pulling the ball, and he's the quarterback player, that he flies over there to have his responsibility. Donovan Jones, the corner, was over there as well. So that's one of the real positives of your quarterback being a running threat. That's essentially taking out Nebraska's best tackler to account for Gronowski, which is why Moulton was able to score.
So 2:53 to work with, and 3 timeouts as well for Tim Lester, the offensive coordinator, and Mark Gronowski, the quarterback of Iowa. And that first play stopped by David Hopkin in the middle. And no huddle right now for Iowa. This is Moulton off the left side, and he's loose. Moulton racing across midfield to the 40. Donovan Jones makes the stop, and Iowa's in business here.
This time it was the right side, Rich. It's usually the back side. I want you to watch Pieper and Dunker up here on the second level. They are so well coached. Pieper gets one linebacker, Dunker gets the other, and Moulton is off to the races. That's what it looked like a lot Saturday night for Penn State against Nebraska.
2-minute timeout. Fun first half in Lincoln. Iowa's marching 17-16 Hawkeyes. Timeout. Ball sitting at the 40.
And because of that, Rich, they really want to score slowly here. Kirk Ferentz's goal is for Nebraska to have as little time as possible after this Iowa possession. So wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple more runs here to start this drive, or start this series of downs now after the 2-minute timeout, with the way Iowa has been running the football these last couple plays. I think they'll keep it on the ground and keep that clock moving, knowing they have all 3 timeouts if they want to use them.
First and 10. There's the pitch. Moulton trying to get outside, slithers through, and he's got a nice gain of 8 yards.
They major in counter and zone, but sometimes, just to keep you honest, they'll go with a pitch play, a quick toss to attack your perimeter.
Second and 2. Moulton again has the first down. It'll stop the clock as they move the chains. Minute and a half left.
Neither team will call timeout yet, and I don't think either team should. Nebraska's getting a little bit banged up out there. Javen Wright, one of their best linebackers, had to hustle off.
They are going into the wind right now. Gronowski, a lot of time. Pocket collapses and he dumps it short. It'll stop the clock on the incompletion. Second and 10.
Well, it's well done by Gronowski to not take a sack there. Feels like this happens a lot when you watch Iowa play, though, Rich, where, like, it's a clean pocket. He doesn't see anybody. I mean, he does not see anybody open. A lot of times there isn't really anybody open. He doesn't want to turn it over or force it into a bad spot, especially since they're already in scoring range.
Drew Stevens, their kicker, has a really strong leg. So this distance is no problem, even with the wind in his face. Second and 10. Again, a ton of time. Escapes the pocket. Flag is down. Into the slide goes Gronowski. And he's hit as he lands there. And he is getting up.
Oh, no.
Slowly.
Oh, man, he slid and he still got hurt?
Well, he was hit at the kind of in the slide.
Personal foul, legal hands to the face, defense number 16. That penalty is before us half the distance to the goal line, is an automatic first down.
So that's Elijah Judy with the flag. No flag on the slide. Let's take a look at it.
Oh, you know what? He stretched his left hand, watch his left shoulder here as he goes into the slide. He's going to reach his arm out, and he comes down, but his left arm is extended. You can see right away he was in a lot of pain.
Was it a late hit?
No, I don't think so. He's tough as nails, but it might limit how much he wants to run here.
From the 12. Gronowski is going to throw it. Man open. That's Phillips. And he's close to the end zone. Inside the 1.
Nebraska should call a timeout here to maintain as much time as they can, and Matt Rule does. Good timeout by Matt Rule there. Your opponent gets the 1. You want to call timeout and preserve time to maybe get a chance to score after this Iowa drive.
Aren't too many quarterbacks in this sport tougher than Gronowski. I mean, he played his home games in weather that was worse than this up at South Dakota State and took a lot of hits in the process.
Certainly the left shoulder arm issue didn't seem to affect him there at all. He ripped that one to Phillips. Let's see if we see the Gronowski-Plowski again, or do they not want to run it?
Here's another look at the slide.
Here it comes, Rich.
The
Gronowski-Plowski.
There it is. Large with the push. He did not make it.
He didn't get in, but he got closer, and that forces Nebraska to use their last timeout. So that's interesting there, because I saw Matt Rule on the play before run down and call timeout, but they might have given it to Iowa.
I think they did. We'll check. Ball's right on the goal line with 39 seconds left in the first half. Iowa, they're right at the goal line.
I don't know if that's even 6 inches this time. I'd be surprised if this was anything other than the Gronowski-Plowski. Give him a chance for yet another rushing touchdown this season.
.39 seconds left. First half. A lot of offense in this one. Patterson, the running back. Large number 88 is usually the pusher. Here he comes. There he goes. Looks like he's in. Touchdown.
Such a great sport. Nebraska did a much better job on these last 2 quarterback sneak push plays. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Plowski, they did a pretty nice job there, but that's just enough for the ball to break the plane of the goal line.
Hayden Large was a question mark coming into this game, but
that's a clear touchdown. It's a good job by the officials to see through all those bodies.
He's been valuable on these pushing. That's got to be a new position, I would think, on the depth chart. Great execution by Iowa. Down the field they went. Large behind Gronowski. 24-16 Hawkeyes.
It's been the big plays. It started with the touchdown pass to Vonami with a terrific route by the young tight end. Then Gronowski had the long quarterback run which set up the second touchdown. And finally, Moulton, at the end of the first half, had another big run for the Hawkeyes.
AT&T brings us the game trends. I know Emmett Johnson's been running for over 100 in his last 4 games, but he did this 177 in the first half.
And still plenty of time to go. It'll be interesting to see just how high that number will get. But when the Cornhuskers get down there in the red zone, they cannot settle for field goals. They got to score touchdowns.
All right, ready to go. Weegin's waiting, and another short kick. And a fair catch called for by Iowa. And we go down below, Tiffany Blackman. Tiff?
Hey guys, well, earlier in the first half, we saw Nebraska quarterback TJ Lateef dealing with what appears to be some sort of knee injury. He's got some sort of brace or wrap around his left knee. Well, I asked Coach Matt Rule how his quarterback is doing. He told me he is battling through, and he said for a freshman to be in this kind of position, that he couldn't be more proud of him, guys.
All right, Tiff, you can see right next to him is Dana Holgerson, one of the real creative minds in college football. Of course, head coach at West Virginia and Houston, longtime OC. First touch, second half. Gronowski threw the ball well in that first half, fires it to the sideline. There's a flag down. Weegin with the catch, and he can't escape to the 31-yard line. Let's see about the flag.
Offside. Defense lining up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
You know, it's funny, Tiffany just talked about how proud Matt Rule is of TJ Lateef in his 3rd career start. This is the 67th start for Mark Gronowski. 56-10 coming into today. That's an NCAA record 56 victories, but that is just a stark contrast in experience for these two signal callers.
And that's at all levels of the NCAA. The 56 wins for a quarterback. Quick pitch. McNeil trying to get outside, and he's to the 30. Andrew Marshall made the stop.
Feels like a really important drive here to start the second half. If you're Nebraska, the last thing you want, obviously, is to fall behind by 2 scores.
And of course, if you're just joining us, Iowa had that great long drive to finish the first half. It's Howard in motion on 2nd and 5. On the ground, and Nathan McNeil, the freshman, getting some run here in this game, and he picks up a first down. Shavers made the stop.
It felt like Nebraska had some guys in there, just the missed tackles. Javen Wright missed a tackle.
And that was Shavers who tried for the tackle, and he's down. He's playing with that big club on that right hand.
And that is not easy when you are trying to take on blocks and shed them. To not be able to use your right hand puts you at a significant disadvantage.
We're back after this.
This or that.
Run here down the stretch.
Sellout crowd clamoring for defense. Iowa has scored on their last 4 drives. The last 3 have been touchdowns. Donnie Jones in to make the stop. And again, that's the freshman Nathan McNeil. Here's the possessions in the first half.
Well, it's just been an outstanding job by Iowa offensively. Nebraska has to find a way to get a stop. That first down stuff right there against the run gives them a chance here.
Now, we need to put that on your Christmas list.
I don't think they can make it this far up, but that'd be incredible.
2nd and 10. They'll stay on the ground. Javen Wright this time gets Kamari Moulton, who's back in. Moulton had some big moments in the first half as well. Tiff, you have more?
Yeah, Tim Lester had told us that Moulton's been able to really help carry the load, especially after being behind Caleb Johnson last year. So he said he's been great, and he's the most consistent person that we have. So earlier in the year, they really wanted to see him try to truck people over, and he's starting to do some of that now, they said.
69 yards on 12 carries, Tiff. 3rd down here, 3rd and 5. Nebraska brings 4. Granoski backpedaling. Good move there. Can't escape. Now he's still on his feet. Backing, looking, firing. And he throws it into the bench and takes a big hit after the throw. No flag. Riley Van Poppel caught him at the end of the play.
Well, it started with the linebacker blitz. Moulton actually did a pretty good job initially here. It's not bad by Moulton. You'd like him to square him up a little bit more, but a terrific job by Marquess Watson Trent. He just kept chasing him, and then Van Poppel get in there and gave him a heck of a shot at the end of the play. Gronowski didn't appreciate it.
Dakin to punt. Barney is deep for Nebraska. Dakin also an Aussie punter. Flag is down, and great ball is loose. I'm not sure if he was down or not. Now it rolls out of bounds, so it's going to stay Nebraska ball. We'll see where they spot it. But Ja'Cory Barney Jr. caught it with a gunner right in his face.
Illegal shift. Kicking team. Not all players got set. 5-yard penalty. Will replay 4th down.
He definitely want him to kick it again.
You definitely want them to kick it again. That means some of the players were still moving when the ball was snapped. You'll see.
Oh, he was down.
He was definitely down. I still like the idea, though, of having Iowa punt it again, because Wampa made a terrific tackle downfield. Nebraska should get better field position here. You got to take advantage of it when Iowa has a penalty. They're the least penalized team in the country, just 2.73 per game, which is incredible.
You saw Mike Eckler, the special teams coordinator for Nebraska. LeVar Woods is the special teams coordinator for Iowa, and he's considered one of the really good ones in the sport as well. Barney, nobody in front of him now, and he drops this one. Picks it up. It's loose. It's in the end zone. Nebraska, if they cover, it's a safety. And it is. Disaster strikes for the Cornhuskers.
Well, so what's crazy is he muffs it, but then he picks it up, and then he gets rocked by Carson Shire. What a hit by Shire. That's why the Hawkeyes put some of their starters on special teams. You saw it from Wampa the play before. Look, he picks it up. He's got it secure, and then Shire lowers the boom. Helmet right on the football.
Ruling on the field is a safety.
That's not just some special teams guy. That's the best tackler on the team for Iowa down there.
And that is why you put some of your starters on special teams. Kirk Ferentz highly values special teams, and it pays off again. Take a look at this hit by Shire.
Oh. Upon further review, Gene Steratore joins us for the first time in this ballgame. Gene, what did you see?
Yeah, Richie, I mean, when you look at Carson Shire on that shot, remember now, this is a runner, but you cannot legally initiate forcible contact with the crown of the helmet there. That looks really close to being that type of a targeting shot to me.
It's so interesting because it's like he hit him with the crown of his helmet up around Barney's. Look, oh yeah, and then his helmet came down and hit the ball.
Gene, how is it officiated after the fact if it is targeted?
Well, if they go there, my thoughts would be, well, they'll go to the spot of the fumble. Where the fumble occurred, you have a foul on the defense, so you would go right back here to the spot of this fumble and enforce that as an unnecessary roughness targeting foul. The safety would not occur, and you would penalize from the spot of that fumble 15 yards, then forward for Nebraska.
So this is an enormous swing here. The first punt was like 40 yards. The second punt was like 53 yards.
Well, you don't see that very often, where his helmet hit Barney's helmet, and then it came down and hit the ball. Look. Was it forcible contact with the crown, which is the 6-inch radius from the very top?
Well, from this
Matt
reaction,
Rule clearly thinks it is.
From this reaction, I'm not sure it's going to go his way. And it has not gone their way. Gene?
Yeah, I'm surprised by it, fellas, quite frankly. I mean, when you watch Shire he's got his arms to the side, too. So the first contact that's made with the returner is with the crown of the helmet there. You said it, Ross, it's a 6-inch diameter. To me, that met all of the requirements for a targeting.
So not only is it 2 points for Iowa, but they get the ball and they get Weegan in a return. And Weegan all the way up to the 48, 49 yard line. Ball's loose. Nebraska trying to dig it out, but Weegan holds on to it, and flags come showering down. That's a huge call. Look at the great field position now that Iowa has.
You said it, Rich. Massive turn of events. Every aspect of it.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, Iowa number 23, that is his first of the ball game, for pulling a player off the pile. Iowa ball, first down and 10.
So if they had confirmed targeting there or upheld targeting, it wouldn't have been a safety. Nebraska would have had 15 yards and had decent field position.
This is a relatively new rule. You are not allowed to pull guys off of a pile like that. So that's the right call by the officials, because when you pull a guy off, that ends up, then they all start to mess with each other and they're not happy about it. You see 23, Van Kegericks come in.
And of course, Iowa can really make this hurt here. Moulton right side, 2 yards. Donnie Jones made the stop. Field position. Some of this is Weegan's return, and some of this is Weegan's influence on kicks.
I mean, Nebraska finally got a stop. And then they end up giving Iowa 2 points, and the defense has to go right back out on the field. Can they get another one? Back-to-back stops.
Moulton in the backfield. Nebraska showing blitz. They don't come. Gronowski's throw is a short one. And Zach Ortwell, his 8th catch of the season, is knocked out of bounds. It's a meager gain, and it's a sizable third down and 7.
Gives them another chance here on a 3rd and long. The last time they came with pressure, and it worked. They brought the linebacker Marquez Watson-Trent, and Moulton was not able to do a good enough job. If I'm Nebraska, I'm heating them up again.
This is not a good down for the Hawkeyes so far this year. Gronowski, lots of time, takes a shot. That's for Howard, and it's incomplete. And Nebraska's going to get the ball back.
Man, credit to this Nebraska defense. Back-to-back stops when they absolutely had to have it, especially this one. Outstanding coverage by Marshall. They love that young man, Andrew Marshall. He's kind of the template, Rich, for what they want in terms of transfers. They like climb-ups from lower levels, not kickbacks from top 10, top 20 programs.
He came from Idaho, a very good program. And this is Barney who holds on to this one, gets to the outside, has a block, still alive to the 50-yard line. That has to feel good for that young man. Flags come down late. Barney, who had just fumbled to set in motion that safety, takes it back to midfield, and let's see about the penalty.
Man, I'm happy for him to have a hugely positive play after that fumble.
Dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 26, Nebraska. 15-yard penalties enforced. First down and 10. Timeout on the field.
That hurts. Nebraska trying to get out of their own way right now. 26-16 Hawkeyes. Snow starting to fall again. The Home Depot Big Ten on CBS is sponsored by Modelo. Today's Military. Jersey Mike Subs. And by Liberty Mutual Insurance. In Lincoln, where Iowa has a 26-16 lead.
I want you to take a look right there. One of the Iowa guys on the punt team is down, and 26. It's hard for me to, I don't know if that's Turner or Mangini, but he hit him twice while he was down. Looks like it's Mangini. You just can't do that. When a player is down on the ground, they're considered to be in a defenseless posture. If you hit them while they're down, it's a penalty.
So finally, Nebraska's offense gets to touch the football. Johnson, who had a mammoth first half, carries this one for 6. Nebraska's first half possession chart.
They're moving it effectively, but when you have those last 3 drives, 2 of them were double-digit plays over 50 yards settling for field goals, and then even when they got the ball at the Iowa 26, they settled for a field goal.
Got to get touchdowns in the red zone. Play action. Latif trying to get it to Barney on a crossing route, and it's incomplete. This turns into 3rd down and 4.
That was outstanding coverage. I'm a little bit surprised that Latif even tried to go there against that zone coverage. No chance with both Wampa and Lutmer in the area.
What was the scouting report? Kill him with relentless completions?
Yeah, that's usually going to be underneath. Empty set. We haven't seen Latif use his legs yet. Now could be the time.
4-man rush. Latif. That was supposed to be underneath, but neither Key nor Latif were on the same page.
Yeah, let's look at Key. He's inside here. He's going to run an in-breaking route. This is really their top receiver. In-breaking route against Shire. He's open. He stops, and Latif thought he was going to keep going. Usually you have an indicator whether it's man or zone. Against zone, you sit down. Against man, you keep going.
Weegan back. Fair catch called for, and he makes it. So right at the 29-yard line, the ball right back in Iowa's hands. They got a 10-point lead. We're in the 3rd, and we're in Lincoln on a Black Friday. 26-16, Iowa on top of Nebraska. Ball sits at the 29-yard line. On a 1st and 10 now, Mark Gronowski. And the Hawkeyes have done a nice job chewing up clock, putting points on the board.
Weegan's in the backfield here on this one. They told us they might do it.
They fake the pitch, and Gronowski picks his way out to the 34-yard line.
What a great decoy. Put Weegan in the backfield. Everybody's pointing and saying, look out for 21, watch out for 21, and then you run the quarterback counter off of it.
So the ball sits at the 34-yard line. Kirk Ferentz and the Hawkeyes have won 9 of the last 10 against Nebraska. Keeping it on the ground. And that's Moulton. Marquess Watson Trent makes the stop.
Another chance for Nebraska to get off the field here on 3rd down. Watson Trent is fired up. He's made a number of plays here in the 2nd half. 3rd and 2 gives Iowa a bunch of options here. They're going to start under center, which would lead you to believe it's either run or play action pass off of it.
It's Patterson in the backfield. It's play action and a blitz. And Gronowski escapes and finds a man. Vonamy up the sideline, breaks another tackle inside the 25 to the 20. DJ Vonamy.
They were ready for it. Watch the right side of Patterson. Sierra Wright coming off the right side of the screen. He knew it. He knew it might be play action pass. Cannot allow Gronowski to get outside you and break contain there. That's a perfect call by Nebraska D coordinator John Butler. That's just the player, unfortunately, not executing.
Vonamy now 3 catches, 91 yards. And this is Patterson breaking through. Boy, nothing going right now for Nebraska. Iowa has the momentum and the lead.
Absolutely critical. As you see, Iowa brings counter, one of their favorite plays. The guard kicks out, the tight end goes up in the hole. It is, oh, Nebraska's got too many guys on the field.
They got him off in time. And Patterson, oh no, the flag did come down. The near official, where the man was escaping, didn't flag it, but it came from the end zone. And Matt Rule is saying, hey, he got off.
Legal substitution. Defense number 95. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
You'll see right there, because the ball's just about snapped. That's close, but he had not gotten into the white before the ball was snapped. Absolutely critical, Rich, that Nebraska holds Iowa to a field goal here. Iowa has gotten touchdowns when they've gotten down here in the red zone. They like to use Gronowski's legs.
McNeil in the backfield. Gronowski to the 6. Gene Steratore adding, for a player to get off legally, he's got to be into the white.
Yep. So a field goal here, and Nebraska's, it's still a 2-score game. And you got a heck of a chance. Iowa gets a touchdown here, and the odds become very, very long for a Nebraska comeback.
Second and goal. Gronowski, time, scrambles, sets, again, and then he just fires it out of the end zone. Great coverage by Nebraska.
This has happened at least 3 or 4 times. We'll check out the all-22, see if any Hawkeyes got open. I mean, maybe he could have tried to hit Vanderzee over the middle right there with Donovan Jones behind him for a second. Once he got into that position, Gronowski did a good job not trying to force it. Absolutely cannot turn it over here if you're Iowa. At worst, reserve the right to kick a field goal.
3rd and goal. Gronowski hit a steam and he's in. Touchdown, Iowa.
We've been saying it all day. Watch 2 things. Peeper, beat up. These are the key blocks. They eat up the linebacker. Then he only needed 1 block. Might have scored anyway. That was a heck of a block there. And Iowa is in the end zone again.
Point is up and good. And Iowa has some distance. 33-16.
We've been saying all day, when Iowa gets down near the goal line, they like having Gronowski leading the way. He's waving goodbye to the Nebraska fans.
16, Iowa now on top. Mark Gronowski, terrific day so far. Our Modelo game changer.
Well, Gronowski came to Iowa for a reason. There's a lot of places he could have gone. But he's done a terrific job throwing the ball to Vonami and obviously running with it. This might have been the most critical play of the game so far, because it looked like Nebraska had him for a sack. Instead, it's a huge play, and the Hawkeyes pay it off with another Gronowski rushing touchdown.
Gronowski, 7 of 14, comparing him last week. And of course, Iowa's offense was dormant last week until that 4th quarter in a great comeback win.
At this point last week, he didn't even have 30 passing yards. It doesn't always look pretty, but he is one heck of a college quarterback.
Ball through the end zone. The Pups are on a mission to save Santa Claus in the brand new special, A Paw Patrol Christmas, tonight, 8, 7 Central on CBS, and it streams on Paramount Plus.
Been a few years since I watched Paw Patrol.
Well, they have a Christmas special.
I think my daughter's graduated from that.
It's a Paw Patrol Christmas. Now, if you're Nebraska, how do you get the offense rolling?
Still 20 minutes to go here. Plenty of time.
Emmett Johnson, and he is strung out and hung up. Lutmer gets there. He's made a lot of big plays today.
Okay, now I get it. Now I get the Cooper DeJean comp. Watch Lutmer. He's not even on the screen. Side like a missile. He sees this. Watch number 6. Comes flying in. This guy can play nickelback, outside corner, play safety. That's the same manner in which the Eagles utilize Cooper DeJean. Man, is he impressive.
Barney in motion. Johnson trying to pick his way through the right side, and he stretches to the 29. This will be 3rd down and about 6. Last 10 meetings. Look at this. These are the seasons, and this stretches through that 10-game streak of losing 9 of 10 to Iowa. And of course, Matt Rule in year 3 usually has a nice bump, and he's got the bump, but a loss here, and they fall to 7-5. On 3rd down, Latif avoids 1 hit. Sidearm throw, and it's incomplete. Emmett Johnson.
Man, I thought Latif could have run for that one, but I think that knee is bothering him. Corcoran got beat around the edge. Latif stepped up. You can see he can't run. He can't run. He is hurting. Boy, that really hurts you, because he could have run for the 1st down. Let's see if it was interference. Yeah, no, the ball was already past Emmett Johnson, and it was inaccurate. Nebraska fans and coaches calling for pass interference. It was not.
And that changes the whole game plan. Weegan is back. Fair catch called for, and he makes the catch. The whole game plan was to get Latif out, make him more mobile today, and obviously that can't happen. Dylan Raiola, of course, their #1 quarterback, injured and out for the season with a fractured fibula. Their backup, Jalen Gramstad, was a 4-year star at NAIA Northwestern College.
Well, it's interesting because there was a report about Raiola a couple days ago that Nebraska's bracing for him to explore his options. Although, honestly, I think most of these guys explore their options after every season nowadays with the transfer portal and NIL.
That's Moulton. Well, you wouldn't know it by the looks in the pregame on his scooter. Obviously, the leg is up. He was scooting from unit to unit and giving high fives and hugs. Moulton's got a first down out to the 49. Tiff?
Yeah, guys, Dylan's even been staying in touch with TJ and offering advice. TJ told us that we communicate a lot, and it just shows the love that we have for each other. He even sent him text messages after the Penn State game, asking if there's anything he can do to help him more to prepare for this game. He even gave him a synopsis of this game last year, telling him it was a hard-fighting game, and really gave him some great insight, guys.
Well, I mean, it's everywhere, right? I mean, Kirk Ferentz even told us this week, hey, on Monday, I start to recruit my own team again. That's Weegan. And Nebraska's done a nice job of keeping him in check on the offensive side of the ball. Shaver's back in, and he ran him out.
I think that is the reality of college football now. You know, this is the last regular season game. Both of these head coaches are going to have conversations with all their players over the next week or so. And make no mistake about it, these guys get calls during the season. And the people that represent them get calls during the season. It's kind of a mess. Unlike the NFL, which has rules and standard free agent periods, college football is kind of all over the place.
Moulton carrying it. Andrew Marshall made the stop. 27 seasons, longest active tenure in FBS. Of course, he was under Hayden Fry, the legend. 4 times Big Ten Coach of the Year, 2 Big Ten championships, and just one of the best head coaches to sit and talk to in terms of your coaches' meetings during a week.
Winningest coach in Big Ten history, which says a lot about a lot. Ironically, his first game was a 42-7 loss to Nebraska back in 1999. Big third down here.
And a quick throw out to Howard. He's got the first down, got a nice block on the perimeter, and he's inside the 35.
If you're going to throw that quick wide receiver look pass, your buddy needs a block for you. Look at Gill, the Northwestern transfer. You know, the Nebraska coaches wanted to hold there, and I don't blame them. Gill's left hand was outside of the body, outside of the framework. They usually call that when you're in space like that and you're restricting the defender. I think Iowa kind of got away with one there.
Gronowski has him on the move again. Keeps it, breaks a tackle, and is out of bounds. 26-yard line.
Sandwich for Matt Rule is amazing.
Weegan gets a toss and then gets caught for a loss by Andrew Marshall. First play of the 4th quarter. Cold turkey sandwich.
What would you say yours is?
Blackberry pie.
Okay.
How about you?
My family makes, we either call it sausage filling or sausage dressing. It looks terrible. It looks like something you'd see in a baby's diaper, but it tastes amazing. You gotta trust me.
That's a bad visual. Come on.
You just gotta try it first, man. It's not about how it looks, it's how it tastes.
3rd down and 4. Gronowski up the sideline. Van der Zee, did he get it? Yeah! What a catch! Oh, Van der Zee. Not sure how he held it. Let's see if he held it all the way through for the catch.
Iowa going right on the football. Wow. He caught that.
one hand.
Now let's look at his feet. Has it? That is an unbelievable catch.
And Iowa pays it off with a touchdown. Moulton is in, and this is turning into a rout.
Iowa smartly goes right on the football because they knew they had the Cornhuskers on the ropes, and that's very well blocked. An easy touchdown. I think part of the reason why they went right on the football there too is to not give the replay officials chance to take a look or too long, but that was a catch regardless. Unbelievable catch by Vanderzee.
Vanderzee had the great catch in that last drive in the comeback win against Michigan State, and he follows it up with a gorgeous one-handed catch. Almost blind, trying to see around the defender.
He is only a sophomore, 6'4", 215. Gronowski said, feels like it was 24-16 like 10 minutes ago, one-score game, but the second half has been all Hawkeyes as this senior class is trying to cement themselves as being one of the better teams that Iowa's had in a while.
That was a short kick into the wind and a solid hit on special teams at the 27-yard line.
Brought down by Cale Koleric.
All right, now Nebraska trying to move the football. Their young quarterback has struggled in this environment. Kurt Ferentz. And Iowa. Chance to go 8-4, 6-3 in the Big Ten. Latif will throw. It's caught by Key. They're going to need Dana Holgorsen to dial up some explosives here.
Nebraska's going no huddle here. Feels weird to say this could be one of Iowa's better teams over the last 10 years with 4 losses, but with the schedule they've had and getting so close to top 5 victories, you talk to some Iowa people, they think it is one of the better teams they've had over the last decade.
Latif taking a deep shot, and that was Barney. Lutmer on the coverage.
I think Ferentz has a soft spot in his heart for this group, even though they've lost those close games to really, really good football teams. A play here, a play there. But as he said and all the players said, these guys have come to play all 12 games. And boy, it sure looks like they're going out in style here today.
3rd and 5. And looking at 4 down territory, you expect.
Yeah, they got to go.
Johnson is short of the first down. Lutmer with another tackle. And of course, Matt Rule in his 3rd year. The last 2 years have just been such excruciating losses to Iowa.
Latif just came off on this play. Looks like they got Heinrich Harburg,
who was a starting quarterback 2 years ago, now is a tight end. So Harburg's going to keep it himself.
Ooh.
And he's hit.
Oh.
I don't know if he got it. It's right on the stick. Godfrey made the hit, and it is a first down, but man, what a play by Rashad Godfrey.
Harburg, pick a side, Heinrich. He goes right down the middle of him, and Godfrey stones him. What a tackle by a corner on a 250-pound tight end. Man, if he got it, he didn't get it by much.
Latif back in. And Johnson no longer is breaking the big runs like he did in the first half. Godfrey another tackle. The orange line is unofficial.
He had to get to the 36. That was awfully close.
Second and 8. Latif. Lindenmeyer makes the catch.
Complete to number 44.
Xavier Wampa, who's had a really nice afternoon here in Lincoln on the coverage.
You hear some Lukes in the stands for the junior tight end from La Vista, Nebraska. Another 3rd and short here for the Cornhuskers.
Johnson makes one man miss, and he's across midfield to the 48. They don't have enough time to just keep handing it to Johnson. They got to get it down the field.
Yeah, no, but 3rd and 1, his fancy footwork is so impressive. I mean, he had a lot. Watched him make these guys miss. Boop. I mean, what is that, the B button? I don't play video games anymore. You guys can let me know, but his jump cuts have been super impressive today for Johnson, who now has 200 yards rushing.
At 173 of those in the first half. Now Latif with the sore leg, firing towards the sideline, and he's overthrowing just about everything. And that goes back to your point about throwing with the wind at your back. And as a young quarterback, trying to make that adjustment.
Well, this is certainly not what TJ Latif was hoping for in his first home start. Well protected, has time, and just airmails it for Smith. Lutmer again, who else, with perfect coverage.
Latif again on 2nd down, sheds one rusher, fires, and Johnson has the catch, and he's short of the 1st down to the 39-yard line. Shire made the stop.
3rd time on this drive. They have a yard or less to go. Going to stay in the gun. The issue with a gun run here is usually it's inside zone away from the offset back.
Johnson tiptoes through tacklers and then gets bulldogged down to the 33.
Boy, is he good. There's not a big menu of runs, Rich, out of the shotgun. So if you're the defense and it's a short yardage play and it's quarterback in the gun with an offset back, you're expecting inside zone away from where the back is standing. Iowa kind of knew it. They still weren't able to bring him down.
Kai Nelson in motion. Latif, little inside slant. And that's key with the catch. And Nebraska putting together a nice drive here, but down big, 40-16.
Too much time. I mean, obviously they're not going to come back anyway, you wouldn't think, but huddling, taking this much time doesn't really give them any chance to.
Latif trying to thread the needle, and it's incomplete. Isaiah Mosey, the intended receiver. Don't forget, later in the game, the play of the game presented by Jersey Mike's Subs. I'll tell you, one big play was the target, no target on the fumble by Ja'Cory Barney, which turned into a safety, and Iowa got the ball at midfield and scored after that. 3rd down 4. Good push. Hubert, the first tackler. It's right at the sticks.
Even if they're short, they're going to go for it, obviously. They're bringing in the heavy set. They call it Big 12. Tyler Canuck, the backup guard and tackle, comes in.
Johnson to the backfield.
He's very deep.
Johnson with the carry. Looks like he has it. But I'm with you. Didn't look like a standard depth for a running back.
Well, I say it all the time. When you get 3rd or 4th and less than a yard to go, he got it. It's a nice job by the Nebraska offensive line, but if you're not running quarterback sneak in those situations, I think you're putting yourself at a schematic disadvantage.
Latif, a lot of contact there, and flags come down. Hunter, the intended receiver. Deshaun Lee with the coverage.
Well, that's a good read by Latif.
Pass interference. Defense number 8. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Includes an automatic. First down.
Yeah, he was hugging him up when Isaiah Hunter, the sophomore from Salinas, California, he went up for it. Lee was already hugging him up. I don't think anybody will disagree with that call. And that gives Nebraska a chance, believe it or not, to make it a 2-score game again if they can score a touchdown and get the 2-point conversion.
Looks like Harburg is going to come in.
Well, you know he's a former quarterback. You already said that. You have to assume he's got the ability to throw off of it. Wouldn't be surprised if this is some type of pop pass, fake run throw.
He made 8 starts a couple years ago. Johnson gets it, dances to the goal line, just short.
All eyes are on the new quarterback, which makes it a perfect time to give the ball to Johnson. You can just see by the way he moves. Gets awfully close there. Nebraska's still taking way too much time. I mean, it's a 3-score game. Too much huddling up and letting the play clock get below 20 seconds.
Harburg's still in there. He's going to keep it. And
Nope.
he doesn't get in.
And he fumbled.
Ball's loose. Oh, goodness. What a disaster. Deshaun Lee with the hit. Brian Allen with the recovery. And Harburg, the former quarterback, now tight ends.
It has become that kind of day for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. It looked like Randall Godfrey, number 7, punched it out again. What a stop for Iowa. Officiated college football. This is his final game. I've gotten a chance to know Jerry over the last couple years. Officiated Division I and Division II, moved up to the Big Ten and MAC in 2005 as a replay official. Congratulations, Jerry. 50 years in the sport of football, with today being his final game. And he's an awesome guy. He's usually on my flights home. I think he's on my flight home after this one.
And he worked at some point with Gene Steratore on some crews.
Ooh, good. Maybe I can get some stories out of him on the flight home.
That's McNeil for about 6. We check in with Tiffany Blackman.
Guys, when we met with Gronowski, he was talking about how much he was looking forward to this game because during his time at South Dakota State, they usually had a bye week. So he remembered sitting on his couch watching these the day after Thanksgiving games. And he wanted to get out here and show everybody just how physical and a fast start that Iowa could have to this game. And I bet this is going better than he could have imagined, guys.
Yeah, it was kind of a humble brag, Tiff. He said, well, we usually had a bye week for this game, so I could just sit on the couch and watch Iowa, Nebraska in the Black Friday games, but got to be cool for him to be able to play on this stage.
McNeil, that's a first down. Watson Trent made the stop. All right, Gene Steratore obviously wants in on this conversation. Gene?
I have to jump in. I am surprised that it was Jerry's 50th year. I am starting to feel a lot older than I really knew I was, fellas, you know, but it was over 3 decades ago. I met Smasher Bram in the Ivy Patriot League when we were moving from Division II to Division I AA football, moving up the chains, and not only Jerry, but all of those guys. I look back now, I can't tell you how many Super Bowls and how many great Division I games those young officials that we shared that journey with now have accomplished. And 50 years is an amazing accomplishment and well-deserved.
Gene, if I may, how did he get the nickname Smasher?
That's going to be one that we'll hold until Ross gets on the plane today. And then he can circle back, Rich, and maybe he can elaborate a little more at some other time and place. But we'll leave that to the plane and to 2A and 2B today.
All right. Good call, Gene.
As always. More importantly, I got to find out from Smasher Bram what Gene's nickname is. The background for that.
We'll circle back when you do.
Please do, Ross, and keep that one on the airplane as well, if you would, please. I'd appreciate that.
Gronowski having trouble with the comms. The commands coming in from the sideline. I think Iowa's going to take a timeout here. It's their first. Gronowski needs just 4 more yards on the ground to set the Iowa all-time record for a season rushing for a quarterback. So we'll see if he can get it here. It's 40-16. Iowa's on top late in the fourth. And at the expense of Nebraska again. This will make it 10 of the last 11 years. And Ross, you were talking about what could have been for this Iowa team.
Each go in the top 5 of the draft if they declare. Those guys made the big plays late that they needed to.
Well, Gronowski may have been trying to pick up that record there, and he just got hit. And they're going to have to give the ball back. Well, let's say it's 4th and 1. Let's see what they do. They'll probably just go for it here.
For at least right now, they're keeping the offense out there. I would say it's more than 1.5 yards, so I don't think this is going to be a Gronowski-Plowski. They could at least go with a hard count or maybe just run it. If you're Kirk Ferentz, you want to try to continue to churn this clock, especially with how late they are in the game.
Washington in the backfield. They need 1.5 yards.
Wow.
There's the Plowski.
They got it. They fooled him.
Bonami actually was driving the plow.
This is cool. They got a whole new offensive line coming in.
That's awesome.
And this veteran offensive line gets to run off. Bo Stevens, the senior, they are fired up. They wanted this one desperately.
That's a Joe Moore Award semifinalist offensive line.
Absolutely.
That's one of the best in the sport. And of course, Joe Moore, everybody who follows college football knows that award goes to a unit, to the offensive line unit. Joe Moore was such a big influence here when he made his visit long ago. 40-16, Iowa. Forward to it, Adam. And yeah, Utah wants to get in that back door into the college football playoff bracket.
That guy dressed for the occasion. I like that hat. Looks like something our director Andy Freeman would wear.
Andy was resplendent in a Thanksgiving shirt last night as the entire crew had a great Thanksgiving meal. Second down. This is Gronowski. Time now for the play of the game presented by Jersey Mike Subs. What a big day for DJ Bonami. That was the touchdown. And here's the call from Gary Dolphin of the Iowa Radio Network.
Make it 4 wideouts. Gronowski going to throw, hit as he lets it go. Wide open man at the 10, caught, and a touchdown. Touchdown, Iowa. Touchdown, DJ Bonami. Boy, they snookered somebody in that secondary because he was left wide open down the end.
Snookered. I don't think I've ever used snookered in a sentence. That was awesome.
Now you have license to do so. That's Washington with the carry. By the way, Gronowski now has the record. One of the great things is that, some of the names from the past that he just passed. One of those was, as a kid, a guy that I always pulled for, Ed Podolak of the Kansas City Chiefs. And, of course, the Iowa great.
Man, there's a lot of Iowa fans here, and they are loud and proud right now, as they should be. What a performance by their guys again.
And you laid it out perfectly at the start of the show. What was at stake in this game for both teams? We'll get to that in a moment. Plenty of college football on CBS coming up. Boise State taking on Utah State, 3:30. That's a big one in the Mountain West. Number 6, Oregon, of course, taking on Washington tomorrow. It all begins with State Farm College Football today on CBS, and it streams on Paramount+. And the scene here in Lincoln is a familiar one for Cornhusker fans. That trophy is going back to Iowa City, where it has been 10 of the last 11 years. Kirk Ferentz and Iowa victorious. Back to Lincoln after this, 40-16, the final.